How's she going, eh? On today's episode of Wild Rose Garbage Garage, we're going to show you how to put some slugs in and get your rings all dialed in nice. Got my Pistons back from the machine shop with the rods that are good on it, and they're resized. Anyone who says you can change the rod bolts to ARP bolts without resizing is full of bullshit. So yeah, I got them resized, and the reason they have to be resized, I believe, I don't know, I'm not a machinist or anything, but I believe the clamping force on these bolts is different, therefore it distorts the end, and they're probably not perfect to begin with. So yeah, those are good to go. Get yourself your piston rings. Get cast rings, unless you're doing something fancy with nice shiny bores. And if you're doing something fancy, you definitely are watching the wrong channel, so you might as well just shut her off. But yeah, get yourself your old cast rings, and they're marked 1, 2, and then of course your oil rings. And they usually have a dot for the top, so the top, the dot points up. So you got your rings all in order. Get yourself your fancy machining tool, feeler gauge, and get yourself a piston that's probably out around from beating the shit out of it like a red-headed stepchild to get the pin out. But yeah, that just means it'll fit a little snugger in the bore, because bores are probably a little big anyhow. But yeah, put your ring in, see the ring's in, put a piston in, push her down. Once you get it down, get a light, shine a light behind it, make sure you don't see light. If you can't see light, she's winded and ain't no point even going any further. But we got no light, so we're good to go. Now, you got to check your gap. See the gap on the top? And there's a lot of different ideas with this, and I've always been told top ring should be gapped more due to heat, especially if you're spraying or something like that. And the reason being, heat creates expansion. When the gap is gone and the two ends of the ring touch and it can't expand anymore, it'll pop the lift off your piston instantly. So yeah, that's what I've always been told, but my machinist says otherwise. He says the second ring should be gapped more, and the reason being, and it makes sense, I'm not saying anything wrong at all, but what he's saying is you don't want to trap pressure in between your first and second ring. So his way of doing it is 5 thousandths per inch of cylinder bore on the second, and on the top 4 thousandths. So you go, let me just think, doing this off the top of my head, and I only have grade 10, so bear with me. But 20 thousandths ring gap on the second, and probably about 17 thousandths on the top. But loose motor's a happy motor, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick a nice number like 24 thousandths sounds good. So we're going to go 24 thousandths on the top and the second ring, and then everyone should be happy. So check it. These ones are about 18, 19 thousandths right now. This is the top, so it's pretty much perfect. Since we don't have any piston ring filing tools or anything like that, you get your finest file from Canadian Tire, and you want a nice fine file. And you can even put a little lube on it if you want. And then you spread your ring and put it on and work it up and down. Don't go crazy, because you can't add back. You can't start burning 7018 on the ends of your piston rings to get her tight again. So work her up and down, check it, and keep going. So once that's good, you're good to go. And what I would do is get some sandwich bags, label them cylinders 1 through 8, do all your rings and put them in the bags, and everything's organized, and then assemble them on your pistons that you should have marked before you took them out. And these ones are marked. As you can see, that says number 3, I don't know. And yeah, anyhow, these ones are marked from factory. The older Olds motors aren't. But yeah, and then you can install everything. You can put your connecting rod bearings in. I lube everything, as I've said before, with STP. That's my go-to for everything. I should have stocks in the shit. But yeah, lube everything with STP. And it's not a bad idea to put some rubber hose over your connecting rod studs, because you don't want to smoke it into that crank you just polished in your garage by yourself. So yeah, so at the end of this week, or at the end of this weekend, I should have a short block built, and I got a little stuff to do in the heads, some welding and grinding, but that'll be coming up shortly. And as far as trannies go, I did a little more stuff to this off camera because, you know, after a guy smokes 2 packs of darts in his garage and hasn't eaten for 10 hours or drank anything, he doesn't really want to be filming too much. So what I did is I took the servo spring out of the valve body, I think that's what it's called, and I've thrown them in the garbage before, but I heard mixed reviews about that. It can pop the clip off. There's a little C-clip that holds it all together. So what I did is I've found in my pile of tranny parts a spring that was same kind of size but way softer. So I put that in there, and then I took I think it's the accumulator right here off the side, and I took that spring out and threw it in the garbage. So this puppy should shift as hard as possible, full of Type F, and yeah, if you need more than that, a guy's gotta get it rebuilt with more clutches and throw the waffle out and all that kind of stuff. But for our purposes, it should hold up fine for a few runs, and that's the name of the game here. So yeah, so everything's looking pretty good. I got my converter too for it, so that's good. So yeah, everything's going pretty good. So yeah, yeah, you know, I'm pretty happy with how things are going now. I think the worst is over. So, and if you're sick of watching all this clapped out junk on my channel and it disgusts you, there's a guy, my buddy actually, he goes by Mr. Will's Dying Breed Garage. Check him out. He has beautiful cars of all makes and models, and he has the cleanest G-body in the world. So yeah, check him out and subscribe to him because he needs to go to No Name Nationals too, and time's running up here, and he needs a few subscribers, so go over there and check him out. All right, thank you very much. Till next time.